Imagine being called to lead an army, but you're not a soldier. You're just a regular guy trying to survive, maybe even doubting yourself. Sounds crazy, right? But what if God told you that you're the one chosen to win the battle? Would you believe it? Or would you say, God, are you sure it's me? My friend, this is not just a story. This is about you. Gideon was just like you and me, hustling to get by, questioning if God even sees what's going on. The Israelites were suffering. Imagine living in a community where everything you plant, someone comes to destroy it. Not a small destruction. Oh, these people would wait for harvest time, then wipe out everything. Corn, yams, cassava, everything. If you plant 20 bags of maize, they will uproot 25. That was Gideon's reality. So, one day, while hiding to thresh some grain in a corner like a thief, the impossible happened. An angel showed up and said, "Mighty man of valor, the Lord is with you." Pause here and imagine Gideon's confusion. Mighty man of valor. Me? God, if you're with us, why is life so hard? Why are people mocking us? Where are all the miracles our parents told us about? Sound familiar? That's exactly how many of us feel when life gets tough. Now imagine this. You're the smallest in your family. Your tribe is the least in the nation. You're just managing life. Oh, and God says you are the one he's choosing. The pressure. That's exactly how Gideon felt. Me? Lead an army? I don't even have a bicycle and you're asking me to drive a convoy? But God didn't see Gideon for who he was at that moment. He saw who Gideon could become. And the same God is saying to you, I have put greatness in you. If I am for you, who can be against you? No demon in your village, no office gossip, no setback can stop my plans for your life. God is not looking at where you are now, he's looking at where he's taking you. When God told Gideon to tear down his father's altar to Baal, it wasn't easy. Think about it. Going against family traditions, risking judgment and standing alone. It's like pulling down the family shrine in the middle of the night. The whole clan would wake up the next day saying, "Who did this? Who dared?" But Gideon obeyed. He moved like an undercover agent at midnight, tore the altar down, and built an altar to God. That act of obedience, as small as it seemed, prepared him for the next challenge. Sometimes the bold steps of faith God asks us to take are what unlock his greater plans for our lives. Fast forward, Gideon's army starts with 32,000 men. God says, too many. It drops to 10,000. God says, still too many. In the end, Gideon is left with 300 men. Haba. Imagine planning to go to war with 300 men against an army as numerous as locusts. Just picture it. Your enemies have swords, shields, and chariots. You have lanterns and clay pots, but that's just like God. He wants us to rely on his strength, not ours, because greater is he that is in us than the one in the world. My brother, my sister, if God is the one sending you, don't be afraid. He knows what he's doing. Even if it looks like you're going in with nothing, God will give you the victory. When the time came to fight, Gideon and his men didn't even need swords. They used trumpets, jars, and torches. Imagine blowing a trumpet in front of warriors with spears. They would laugh at you and say, "What kind of battle is this?" But God, the way he works is different. He threw the enemy into confusion. Those who came to destroy Gideon ended up destroying themselves. And that small army of 300 won a victory that could only be explained by God's intervention. And the same God who fought for Gideon is fighting for you. He doesn't need big numbers or big names to work in your life. You are more than a conqueror. No enemy is too big for your God. So what about you? What's your battle? What's that thing that makes you feel small, unworthy, or afraid? Remember Gideon. Remember that God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. Stand up, child of God. Let them laugh if they want to. Let them mock if they must. The same God who used Gideon is ready to use you. If he is for you, nothing, absolutely nothing, can stand against you.